Thanks, guys. For Nolan and John, how did really defense and rebounding, especially maybe some of the work, I mean, collectively, but especially Andrew Rohde early kind of set the tone tonight and really get Michigan State off to a slow start?
I think, we keyed on defense. I think that was going to win us the game today. It wasn't going to be hitting threes. It wasn't going to be our skill. It was just going to be our defense. Just being locked in defensively, being physical, and then sticking to our plan. We had a good plan for today. They're a good team. But I think we did a great job on containing their best players and honestly just shutting off their offense.
Go ahead.
For Nolan, kind of on that point, you face the two top teams in offensive rebounding in the in the conference. You guys do a pretty good job, especially. I mean, they had 19 or I think it was 14 offensive rebounds, and they only have 8 second chance points there. When you kind of look at it, physicality-wise, that was a big topic coming into the week. Tell me about what you guys did defensively there as the bigs, and really how this one played out like that.
Yeah, I think our coaches did a good job of really just ingraining in our minds what it's going to be like as the returners playing Michigan State along with JB and some other guys. We knew what it was going to be like with Coach Izzo and how they play. So, this week in practice, a lot of just toughness drills, box-out drills, that kind of stuff to get ready for what's coming at us. And, I think we did a pretty good job. I think we still could be better on the boards as a defensive unit, but, against a team like that, I think we'll take that.
Nolan, you know obviously what it's like to have to adjust to Big Ten play, especially in the front court as a young forward. Can you just speak to the growth and some of the work that Alexis and Austin have put into to be able to do what they've done over these last couple games?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see both of them grow. Obviously, like you said, Big Ten's a physical conference. Myself as a freshman, get thrown around a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to really find your footing, and to see both of their confidences just really grow throughout these last couple games and just throughout the whole season. It's been awesome to see as a fellow, front court mate of theirs. So, it's on me a little bit to help them and just kind of guide them through what's ahead of us through the season and what the Big Ten schedule is really all about. But credit to them. It's been awesome to see them both just put their head down, keep working, and just get a lot better for this team.
Let's go ahead, John, and then Mark.
15 made threes. How do you feel like you guys kind of were able to use that to kind of set up some other things with your offense?
When the threes are dropping in, we're a very hard team to guard, especially when we're defending. But I don't think we settled for a lot of threes. I think we took the right threes. Obviously, we got, Nick shot the one from, State Street. But other than that, I think we shot some really great ones. And then when the offense is falling like that and we're playing like that and we're sharing the ball, the one more, I don't know who hit it, Aussie, where we just shared the ball. That's Wisconsin basketball. That's who we are. When we share like that. And I told the guys, don't settle for three. Let's try to get to the bonus. And we got to the double bonus. So that was good. So we just, harped on that. Don't settle for the three. Let's keep driving, getting attacks, inside-out threes.
Mark?
No, Nolan, they had 14 points in the paint, which is way below what they average. Just can you speak to what you think went into, containing them in that aspect of the game?
Yeah, obviously they're bigs with Kohler and Cooper. We knew we were going to have our hands full with them. So as the bigs of our team, we made a big point emphasis of playing physical, walling up without fouling, and just using our length against them. Obviously, we knew that they were going to get theirs, and they're really skilled and talented. So just doing whatever we can to limit them, and obviously keeping them off the glass and trying to keep them from second chance points was also a big thing for us this week in practice and going into the game. It was just trying to match their physicality or exceed it. And like I said, I think we did a pretty good job of that tonight.
Michael?
Nick, that shot from way deep that John just referenced, what are you thinking as you take a shot like that?
He just hit 2 in a row.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm just playing. I'm having fun, man. It's been great, man, being with these guys, man. It's just a journey. I think back to, that interview we had in Milwaukee after Villanova, you know what I'm saying, where Nolan was just heartbroken and, we was just kind of lost as a team, and we just came together, and to have moments like this, man, it's just beautiful, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this team. And we got, like I always say, we got way more moments to share together, special moments, and I'm just looking forward to just having fun for these next couple weeks or months, left in the season.
Go ahead, Jim.
Nick, winning back-to-back games like this and stacking those types of impressive wins, what do you think that says about how good you guys might end up being?
And like I said, I always say, we shoot like that, ain't no team in the country that could beat us. So, stay confident, as always. And I just think that's what it is, like, just the confidence, man. You see Ozzy coming down the court with that type of confidence, ready to pull the trigger. Nolan, JB, like, it's just too much. It's too much. I don't even know. It's too much.
We've got time for 2 more questions. Right up front, please.
Nick, on that note, you said you came to the Big Ten to play in these types of games. I mean, you have 2 pretty big performances this week. You said after the game, on Tuesday, that you guys are built for March. Just tell me how surreal this moment is for you, for this team.
Man, it's just a blessing. You know what I mean? Just coming from where I came from, my journey, in college, man, as it wraps up, it's just crazy, man. And like I said, I feel like we got a team that, could do some special things, and we still striving. And the beautiful thing about this team right now is, like, we got ways to go on defense in terms of being connected and really shutting teams' water off. So we keep putting this offensive output and keep tightening up that defense. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
Final question. Go ahead.
With that court storming moment in particular, what was that like for you guys?
It was fun.
JB got out of there.
No, it's cool to be able to, share that moment with all the fans and allow them to have some fun along with us. It's a special moment. Obviously, you remember all the court storms in your career, so I think that was pretty. That's up there. That was a good one.
That was a 9.5.
9.5.
The speed was good.
Shout out to the security though with the ropes.
Yeah,
like,
shout out to
Security.
security.
They did a good job. Security did a good job.
That was cool.
It was fun.
I mean, obviously, extremely proud of our group. Not just tonight, but how this group has grown and continued to mature and bond together and get better. And obviously we played exceptionally well tonight against a really, really good team. We were able to make some shots, get some momentum, transition. I thought defensively we did some really good things. We made a quick turn from the Illinois game and had to prepare in a short amount of time, knowing that this was going to be a challenge for us. And I just think it's a microcosm of how this group has kind of continued to get better and better and better and meet the challenges that our staff puts in front of them and do it collectively together. We talk about that at nauseum, about doing it together. And like I said, I'm just proud. Obviously, Nick had a tremendous game. Thought Blackwell was really good. I thought everybody, we just really picked each other up, absorbed Blackwell's foul trouble in the first half, and were able to extend a lead and minimize, for the most part, what they try to do. They got us in transition and got us on the glass a little bit, but I thought by and large we were able to obviously play with a lead and we were able to stay aggressive, and that was important. So it's been a pretty decent few days here. So now we need some rest, which we'll finally get a day tomorrow to recharge a little bit, and then obviously we got a long ways to go yet, both obviously in the schedule, but also things that we can continue to improve upon. And I think as long as they keep that mindset of staying hungry and continue to improve, we got more things to accomplish going forward. Questions?
Go Nick, and then John, Mark, and Michael.
Greg, you talked about that growth, especially defensively. How did that kind of set the tone tonight? It seemed like Rhodey and Winter very early. Just how proud are you of kind of that growth the last 2.5 months on that side of the floor?
Yeah, I think, quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, early in the year we were soft, mentally and physically, and we had to mature. We had to grow up, collectively and with individually, and and this, you're not going to be able to compete in these type of games at the upper echelon of this league if you're not physically and mentally tough. And this group has responded. Like I said before, that's part of the response and improvement, that this group accepted the challenge, and the coaching staff has done a great job of being extremely demanding of them, and they want that. They want to be held to a high standard, and like I said, they've responded and continued to improve and understand how important that defensive end and the physicalness that you have to play with in this league is it's obviously exceptionally important.
Obviously not the first time that we've talked about a special performance from Nick, but what in particular impressed you the most about what he did tonight?
Well, I mean, he made a lot of shots. Obviously, I thought he was really aggressive. He followed the scouting report pretty well defensively for the most part. He just brings another element to our offense because of the pace he plays with. He forces other guys to run, meaning our guys, and obviously he got into a position where found himself open, made some good decisions. Guys found him too, and he was in one of those modes where, he's an exceptionally confident kid. I mean, obviously ferociously competitive, but extremely confident and doesn't think there's anything he can't accomplish. And obviously he was in a groove tonight.
Mark, you can get John. You can give it right to Mark if you would, please. Thanks.
Going back to defense, I guess I'm wondering going into the game, what did you feel was going to be kind of the focal point or the key aspect that your guys needed to really kind of contain with Michigan State, and how do you think that went and played into the outcome?
Same thing we've talked about for 25 years, transition defense, defensive rebounding. I mean, they put as much pressure on you in transition as any team in the country. They come after the glass as well as any team in the country, and they've done it. I mean, they were doing it in 2001 when we got here, and they're still doing it. So that's what makes them consistently really good year in and year out. Coach Izzo has a system and a method to what he does, and it's obviously made him a Hall of Famer, but he stayed true to what he believes in, and I think that's where you see programs stay so consistent year in and year out. And for him, it's you're looking 3 decades here of extremely high level basketball, but they defend really well. It's the best defensive team in the league. They rebound it really well, and they obviously put an exceptional amount of pressure on you in transition defensively. So that transition defense was important. Defensive rebounding was important. And I thought, too, taking care of the ball. We got a little sloppy at times. We got two, whether it was late in the first half, some turnovers turned into transition for them. And you just can't give them extra opportunities to play in space because they're really, really good at it.
Michael?
Nick took some wild shots, but he obviously made a lot of them. How much does his shot selection come up in a film session? And I guess, how much of that do you just have to let go?
Define wild.
I mean, stopping on the break and throwing up a floater at the rim and,
Shots that you wouldn't take in open gym, Mike?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I don't have that footwork.
I've said before, you have to, there's a fine line between overcoaching and micromanaging shot selection. There are times, I mean, we obviously, I grade every shot quality, but at the same time, you have to let your horses buck, right? You got to let your horses play, and not every shot that he takes is going to be maybe a gold medal, 5-star shot. You've got to let, and I've done that with others. I did it with Johnny Davis, did it with AJ Storr, did it with JT last year. Blackwell, guys that proven that they can be game changers and score for you. You gotta, you can't micromanage, and not everybody has the same green light, and sometimes that green light turns to yellow, and once in a while it might turn red. But you have to. That's a within the game feel of the types of shots we're getting, and because he creates a lot of things for us offensively just by his presence and velocity that he attacks the paint with.
As underclassmen, it feels like Austin and Alexis have really started to adapt and succeed against some of these really good front courts in the Big Ten. How have you seen their games and comfortability level grow over the last month or so?
Yeah, I think comfortability is a good term for it. I mean, it's obviously it's a completely new world specifically for Alexis, right? I mean, he's never been to the States, and he arrives in September or late August, and 5 months later he's had to run out of the way of a court storm. Like they don't storm the court in Lithuania. That doesn't happen. So there has been a lot of adjustments and adaptation for him, and obviously Aussie has a year of college basketball under his belt at Portland, but they both have taken coaching very well, and want to improve. They both want to get better. They ask very good questions. They take constructive criticism well. They don't get defensive. And they both have, in different ways, have continued to improve. And they both, most importantly, they're both about the front of the jersey and winning. And that's what makes it work. You have to have like-minded guys, and whether you've been, here for 5 years or you've been here for, 5 months, that's really important in terms of the culture of your locker room and the culture of your program.
Right up front, and then, go ahead.
Coach, you had talked about the connectedness of this group just a little bit, but it's obviously been a process throughout the year, but with the connectedness that they played with tonight, is that kind of what you envisioned from this group as you put the team together ahead of the year?
Yeah, I mean, the connectiveness takes time, right? You want to make sure you evaluate in terms of the player that you're bringing in, if you're looking at portal, because those evaluations are done in a speed dating format, but you're also making sure you're vetting the person, and making sure they understand that when they come here, we don't become them, they have to become us. And I mean, a great example is last year, I think 7 of the top 8 or 9, 7 of them had played here before, and the only outlier, the only newcomer that played was Tanje. And this year it was kind of the reverse. Like, Winter and Blackwell had got a lot of experience, Janicki a little bit, but other than that, everybody else is new. And it just takes time for that connectivity to happen, and then you can get some consistency, which we didn't have early in the year. We were good in spurts. We were good yesterday, not good today, good tomorrow. You just saw that as we kind of, and part of that was the connectivity and understanding everybody's role, and then part of it, like I mentioned before, just we had to toughen up. Like, we didn't handle adversity well. We didn't handle, and that's where some of those scores maybe you saw early in the year. We didn't punch back well, and or sometimes at all, and that they've grown. They've grown. And like I said, I'm extremely proud of them because they've bonded together. It's a really good locker room, and they enjoy each other's success. I think that's a neat. You're watching them all celebrate with no matter who's on the floor. They enjoy watching their teammates have success.
Got 2 more questions. Go ahead, and then Jim, please.
Coach, 28 points in the paint tonight. Was winning the front court battle one of the main focuses coming into the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's not only, points in the paint aren't always big guys, right? That's Nick Boyd and Blackwell and others getting to the rim, dribble penetration, those things. So yeah, I mean, you obviously points in the paint are important. I thought second chance points were important. We were able to convert off some of their turnovers. The fast break points is one that obviously they were very good in transition when they were able to get there, and so we'll have to look at that, and there'll be some things we'll have to improve from that. But yeah, I mean, it's I think we have a multi-dimensional team. We have a lot of different pieces and weapons in the starting lineup, off the bench in different ways, and our staff does a phenomenal job. I can't say enough about them as how they game plan and put things together and tweak and adjust, and it's makes it a lot of fun when you got really good players. It makes all that tweaking and adjusting and game planning really enjoyable because you're working with really good players and that want to have success.
Jim, final question.
Jim.
You were in here a couple of days ago talking about consistent approaches and how every game's kind of the same, and we've certainly seen that over the years, and that's a measure of this program's success. But this week was really impressive, and to stack back-to-back wins like you did, do you allow yourself to just pause for a second and say, this team has a chance to be really, really good? Or is it too
Well,
early for that?
I think, I mean, no, I don't, and that's my own fault. I think we as coaches just we're a little wacky on how we're wired that we don't. And I've had other head coaches. The one that really brought it to my attention was Dick Bennett. Said he goes, if I have one regret, I lamented way longer and way harder and way deeper on losses than I ever enjoyed wins. And I wish I would have enjoyed that. But it's human nature, right? We're on to next. Like I know Ohio State. Like but yeah, you have to find a somewhat of a balance. But I think in this profession, I don't think you get to this point if your switch goes off, And maybe we turn down the volume a little bit, but the switch doesn't go off. I mean, I'll watch this tape tonight. We have tomorrow off, which is important for our players. But we'll be, we're already in Ohio State prep, so yeah, you enjoy the moment long, but I think everybody that's in this is extremely competitive, and competitors don't do a good job at flipping the switch off until maybe May. Yes. Oh yeah.